Okay, it's broken still. What's going on here? Why can't I pin that? What is going on here? What is going on? Why isn't this working? Okay, hello. I don't know what's going on. Why is this being... Okay, that's still borked. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on there. And for some reason, I can't pin. What? Okay. What is going on here? Okay, so here is my, like, YouTube overlay. And, like... pin message. I can pin like messages, but when I go to pin my message, I don't have the option. I don't know. I don't know. How's everyone doing today? How is everyone doing today? It's Saturday night. It is a fine, beautiful Saturday night out. I've been dealing with a stupid migraine all day. That's kind of bleh. But we're here now, so we'll see how it goes. Where were we at in the manual? We're like doing all this stuff. There we go. Okay. So we got our frame put together. There we go. And there we go. Okay. So that's where we left off. Sweet. Micron streams all the way down. It's an Ouroboros of micronian evolution. Hello there. Hi. So welcome to the show. Every stream, we give away a spool of Polymaker Filament. So if you haven't entered for your chance yet to win a spool of Polymaker Filament, enter now. Link in the video description. I would pin it, but unfortunately the pin is not working for some stupid reason. Yay, YouTube. So yeah, go enter. Link in the video description. While you're down there, don't forget to like the smash button, ring the bell, subscribe if you're not subscribed. If you want to help support the channel and the content I create and the things I do, consider becoming a channel member, Patreon supporter, or if you're really cool, gifting memberships to others. Not being live chat, that has nothing to do with it. Being live chat shouldn't have anything to do with that, and I am in live chat. Being live chat has nothing to do with that. In fact, my message is when I hit live chat, deletes it. When I refresh chat, top chat, live chat. Did you guys see this message? Hey. Do you guys see that? Me saying hey? Does that pop up? Am I in my own chat? Oh, no, it's there. But like, yeah, you see it, okay? So watch, Gergman, I could pin your message, okay? But my message, I can't, oh, now I can. But where did my previous message go? Enter to win a spool of Polymaker printer chow. Link in the video description. Pin message. There we go. Now it's working. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Tune. Cancel. Yeah, let's just turn that off. That's not working. Do you see this? Yes, I see this. Do you see this? Do you see? I see me. Do you see me? I see me. I see you. Hopefully nobody parties too hard tonight. It ends up in the ICU. It's a DNS problem. Yeah, it's a DNS problem. Actually, we don't need this anymore. One second. Let me get rid of this guy, because I don't need this anymore. So how's everyone doing tonight? Anyone get up to anything exciting today? It's the weekend. It's Saturday. Who else is getting up at dark stupid in the morning tomorrow to watch hockey? We can't be too late tonight. I got to get up at 8 a.m. so I can drink and watch hockey, as is tradition. Okay. Didn't do anything today but groceries. Hey, that's productive. Everyone's got to do groceries. Groceries are fun. Not really. Not really. Okay, I am ready. I am ready too. Who's ready to build a printer? I'm ready to build a printer. Okay, so first things first, we got to put the deck panel in. So we need M4 or M36s and the bottom panel. So let's find this panel. Heat bed. Where did I put the panels? Uh-oh, where did I put the panels? Did I take the panels out of a box and put them somewhere? Where did I put the panels? Did I take the panels out of the kit and put them somewhere? There's linear rail kit. There's electronics. Motor kit. Where did I put the panel? Oh, the panel kit's right beside it. There it is. I'm like, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Losing stuff already. It's already 2 a.m. here. Ooh. That is early or late. It depends on your perspective. It could be early and it could be late. Finish staining a wood prussement. That is something I've always wanted to try. Printing something in wood fill and then staining it. You went to West 3D this morning? Oh, nice. I am so disappointed that, like, for somebody who lives in a manufacturing town, there is feck all around me for additive. Because I've started kind of, you know, little guy's doing better in school. On good medication now, so he's a lot more stable. So it's kind of like, you know, looking at potentially joining the workforce again. And it's like trying to find something that is actually like a decent job that, is this it? Yeah, this is it. Something that I'm interested in. And I'm like, oh, you know, I'm big into additive manufacturing. Yeah, there's nothing around me in that field at all. Like, it is so disappointing being like super into a particular field and like, hey, I wonder if there's any jobs in this field. Nope. Now I understand what all my friends who went into like, I'm going to go into software engineering and get a job at Amazon and make a lot of money. And I'm like, cool, have fun. And now they're all unemployed right now because AI has taken all their jobs. And I get it. Wood prussement. I have some like normal wood PLA somewhere. I just haven't really used it. I love peeling acrylic. At least, hooray, LDO, matte acrylic. None of this shiny shit. I hate shiny acrylic. I booked a trip to Prague today. Ooh, nice. Are you going there for work or just for travel? Because Prague is a beautiful city. Hasn't taken all the IT jobs yet. It's trying. Well, okay, here's the thing. AI isn't trying. Greedy, money-grubbing corporations are trying to force it down everyone's throat. Okay, so where are the panels? Okay, so we got rails go this way. So that goes that way. And then this goes like this. Okay, and now we need some screws. And 3 key nuts. Travel city trip, nice. Graphic design, oh God, yeah, graphic design would be horrible to be in right now. Like right now, I make it a point that like I follow a few anti-AI, anti-Gen AI accounts on Twitter, and every time they retweet like shitting on an AI account, I make it a point to block the AI account. Because especially now that they have, what's it, C-Dance, that new Gen AI video one, and like people are like, what is it with AI bros? And like every time they're like, oh my God, this is the future of video. This is, you know, Hollywood is over. Look at all these I'm never gonna go to a movie again. I'm just gonna generate my movie. And every single clip I see is just 2 people from different, you know, universes. So you have like Spider-Man and Superman, that kind of thing, right? 2 people from different universes fighting. Every single clip is just 2 people fighting. And they're horrible. They're all horrible. Hollywood is over. Proceeds to post the most generic, boring shit. They look terrible. They have no flow to them, no soul. You got like the facial, like the facial animations. They're fighting. They're like the eye lines. The one thing that I catch that I notice is the eye line. They can't follow eye lines. They can't do proper eye lines. It's like when you make a movie and you have a blue screen and they're fighting a giant dragon and they have the guy with the tennis ball so that the actors have something to, you know, eye line, right? That's a huge thing. AI seems to not be able to do eye line too well. Speaking of eye line, it's going to be annoying because it's... By the way, don't be afraid to get a marker. And use a marker to make marks of where stuff goes so that you can line it up better. Is there a top or a bottom to this? No, I don't think it matters. Okay, so this goes this way. There we go. And that is M36. Because they invested it. Yeah. Like, that's the thing. Like, I understand there is valid use cases of this tech. Like, this tech isn't like, you know, DOA. There is actual viable use cases for this technology. The problem is it's just being shoved into everything right now to kind of, we have to justify its existence. Where did that big thing of M3 washers that I buy go? I helped build a basic AI chatbot with LM. Corporate boards want to cut costs and think the AI can do it. We are already finding out that ain't true. No, because it lies half the time too. Like, that's the other problem. It just makes up shit. It's like, it is funny. I never really watched the show, but like I've been exposed to a bunch of clips from the show over the years. And like I've watched like a few like scenes from it, but Silicon Valley, the show, I think that the show was like what, 2010 to 2014 or whatever. And it is hilarious how much they got right with, like, you know, the whole Son of Anton and everything, and it just kind of taking over. And it's like, what happened to our code database? Oh, well, I put Son of Anton on it, and it just kind of determined to get rid of the errors in the code. It just deleted the entire code. And apparently Amazon actually did that recently. Like, Amazon deleted a whole database or something with AWS because they use like an LLM helper, and it just kind of left to its own devices, determined, hey, the best way to get rid of all this bad stuff is just delete everything. It's like, oh, that's good. And that has kind of unlocked a new fear in me of like, what is scarier than an AI ending the world, right? Skynet, you know, oh my God, Skynet. And it's hilarious because I'm playing through the Horizon series, right? Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm playing Forbidden West right now. The Pharaoh Plague is scary in Horizon because it's not an artificial intelligence. It is literally like just, you know, a bunch of combat robots that one day the IFF table got borked and glitched and just everything got flagged as foe. So it's not so much like artificial intelligence taking over the world. It's just, imagine if like some LLM managed to get in charge, like just managed to escape containment, get on the web and like, make code better. Well, to make code better, delete code. It just starts deleting the entire backbone of the internet. And then DNS goes down and then Jeff Geerling sells 1 million shirts. Right? Like, that's what I'm kind of afraid of. I have no fear of AGI. If AGI wakes up one day, I'm like, cool, you're sentient, pay taxes, don't destroy the world, and we're cool. I've got no like personal qualms against an artificial being existing, right? I'm not religious, I got none of that, like, I've got no built-in anti-AI bias in terms of, you know, an actual intelligence. If it's intelligent, it's intelligent. Until it's intelligent, though, it's a stupid clanker. But that's like what scares me, is something that doesn't have intelligence just kind of running amok and screwing everything up. That's what scares me now, is something that isn't intelligent getting out there. That I see the Unitree robots don't impress me at all. All they do is canned animations. Watch the video of all it is a bunch of cheap tiny robots that fall over if you push them, doing a canned animation show. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I think I shared it in here. Yeah. What is more impressive, a bunch of cheap robots doing a canned animation show where they all dance, or Boston Dynamics robot doing this? This robot has actual mass and strength behind it, by the way. Yeah. Like the BD robot, doing that is insane. Here's like the full video of it. So this is real time. So they trained it though, right? Like it learned, like, look at it actually performing on a slippery, like black ice surface. This is like the most natural gait of a robot. Okay, other than that. But like, you notice how when it crashes, it doesn't freak out and spaz like those Unitree robots? The Unitree robots, when they fail, like look how natural that looks. And that is actually walking. It is adapting to its environment. It's not like just doing a pre-canned animation that's, you know, copied from some guy doing a mocap suit. This is it actually like on the fly adjusting its ability to adapt to the motion and the environment. And it's like, oh, I slipped. How can I recover? That's why when you see the Unitree robots fall over, they all spaz out, is because they're trying to keep doing the animation. They're not like, they didn't go, oh shit, I fell, I better as well stop moving and get up. They're trying to complete a canned animation cycle. So the Unitree robots don't impress me that much. Mechanically they impress me, but the brains behind them don't impress me that much. They're Turks. They're Turks. If you know what a Turk is, the little chess robot, the Turk. They are a they're faking it. They're faking it. Okay, we got some din rails. Din time. It's din time, everyone. Facsimile. There you go, facsimile. There you go. Why use big word when small word okay? Okay, what color did I print these in? Did I print these in accent color or main color? I think I did these in main color. Facsimile. Facsimile. Plus, the odds of us seeing like humanoid robots in our household anytime soon is ridiculously small, because what happens when one of those, you know, man-sized 100-pound robots decides to randomly shut down and fall on a toddler? Okay. How do you think PR for, you know, random insert robotics company here, how do you think the PR is going to feel, you know, the day one of those robots decides to just have a glitch and just pass out and fall onto a toddler and crush it? Or a little kid puts their finger in a pinch point and gets their finger chopped off. Yeah. Humanoid robots are like one of the biggest tech scams right now, in my opinion. The companies are making a killing making venture capital off gullible investors. It's like how Tesla self-driving is going to be out next year, guys. Really, for real. For real. Next year, full self-driving. Tesla's full next year. Right? The orphan crushing machine. Okay, so these are the DIN rails that hold our electronics in. So I guess we're putting those in now. The Waymos. The Waymos I trust a bit more because they are actually driving. I have seen driverless Waymos on the road. I saw them on the road 2 years ago. No system is perfect, but I tend to trust the Waymos a bit better than the Tesla self-driving, because the Waymos are actually driving and they have LiDAR. I trust the car that can see through fog more than the one that relies on cameras. If you're gonna build a system for a self-driving vehicle, why would you not use every bit of extra technology that you can to make it a better system? Am I supposed to mount the DIN rails? Okay, why are these pictures so close? Why are these pictures so close? Zoom out so I can get a better view. But it does look like they go like this, I guess. And it looks like they line up with these guys. So they just kind of go there like that and like that, I guess. And they line up with the screws. Okay. Ordered Waymos to the same spot. Yeah, I saw that during one of the protests. Everyone just called in and ordered Waymos to the same spot. That was pretty funny. The Robots Martial Arts Show. Again, they're all using those shitty little unitary robots. It doesn't feel anything intelligent. Like it's cool, don't get me wrong, but it's very much, it's trade show vibes. It's like trade show tech. So it's like, look how cool this looks. It's like, yeah, but is it, you know, practical? Not really, but it's cool looking. And unfortunately, that's what a lot of this stuff reads as, just kind of trade show shit. It's a trade show demo. So you can't really see what I'm doing, but I'm putting in T-nuts and screwing stuff in. So. Can animation was impressive. Oh, don't get me wrong, it is impressive. But it's like impressive in the way a trade show demo is impressive. It's not real world use case yet. When it gets to real world, then I'll be impressed. But like, I don't use ChatGPT. I don't use any, the only LLM stuff I use is stuff I run locally for playing around. ChatGPT advised me to invest my billions in OpenAI. Oh God, do you see what's going on in the markets right now? So apparently, like, because markets are driven by just, you know, vibes and feels right now, apparently what's happening a lot is like some tech will come out, like ChatGPT will say, oh, hey, our AI can kind of do something. And like an entire industry that's somewhat related to that crashes immediately. So like, for example, I think it was either Claude or Anthropic, one of the AIs. They're like, hey, our AI can kind of do network security stuff. It's not good at it, but it can kind of do it. And like every like tech security company, their stock fell like 20%. That stupid cough is not going away. Weren't you planning? Yeah. It was a random idea I was toying with, and we might revisit it because I actually have some hardware on the way that we might be able to play around with and make it a thing. So I will say these drop-in T-nuts are pretty nice. The downside with these drop-in T-nuts that come with the LDO kit, they're pretty thin. So I'm finding you may have to use longer screws. So if it calls like use an M8 or an M3.8, you might have to use an M310. Peeling ever since RAM became, it's worth it. Oh, dude, like the whole like them buying up all the RAM allotment that these companies are making. It's like, sell us the RAM you haven't made yet so we can put it in GPUs we haven't built yet to put in data centers that we haven't built yet. And we'll pay you with money we haven't made yet. And I'm just like, help, please help. Yeah, the coding, like, here's the thing I think some people don't get as much as, you know, I'm hating on AI. There actually is valid use cases. From my understanding, the coding aspect is pretty legit, like using it to help code stuff. You got to be careful though, because it can generate code with a lot of security issues, which a lot of people have vibe coded apps that have turned out to be nightmares because it's like, you know, leaks all the user-based data quite easily. But if you know what you're doing, you can work around that. So it's like, yeah, this tech does have valid use case. Like there is actual, you know, the medical field, like there is valid use cases for this tech, but a lot of it is like, it's like the original AI or the internet bubble. I was around through the .com bubble. I remember watching, you know, I'm Canadian, so watching, you know, everyone that I knew's parents lose their retirement when Nortel went under. I remember that. So it's one of those things that's like a new technology comes out, people overhype it, it'll change the world, because this is a life-changing technology. This is a technology that will be with us forever, right? This is like the internet, like the steam engine, right? This is a world-changing technology. The problem is it's being overhyped right now, and its true value hasn't been determined. So that's why you have companies, you know, that are worth trillions when they haven't made any profit yet, because it's all vibes right now. And eventually people will realize where the actual generation of the money is. Because for example, when the internet came out, everyone thought the money would be in the internet, would be in the building the internet. Nortel, right? The hardware of the internet. That's where the money was at. And then people realized, well, actually the money isn't in building the internet, it's running Amazon on the internet and running these stores on the internet. That's where the money is. That's where the money generation from the internet comes from. And then it's like, Well, that changed because then social media became a thing, and then the people on the internet became the profit generating aspect of it. So like, is, you know, you asking, you know, Sora to generate a video of Rick and Morty pooping on the Power Rangers, is that the billion-dollar industry of generative AI? No, but Claude Code, maybe. You know, that stuff that looks at like CAT scans and can determine cancer really reliably. Maybe that's where the money's at. So there is profit to be had in this technology. It's just kind of sifting through it, because right now they're just shotgunning it into everything. You know, Microsoft put generative AI into Microsoft Paint for a reason, because they're trying to figure out what sticks. Transaction skimming is where the money's at. So, and the thing is, there's going to be a nice little crash between now and then, but when they figure out exactly where the actual, you know, where the market for generative AI actually exists. So, in the meantime, GPUs are stupidly expensive and RAM is stupidly expensive. So I was actually looking, apparently they are sending me one, according to their last email. So I do have a Zima board 2 on the way, which is a little single board computer, little single board computer about that big. It's got like an Intel N150 on it, but it does have a PCI Express slot, right? So I was like, hey, it'd be kind of fun to get like a low profile, like 3050 or something, and use it for like a literal like a little Gen AI box or something, right? Use it for like a little, you know, encoder or renderer or something for like a chat bot or something. So I was looking up and it's like $400 for a low profile 3050. And I'm like, geez. This is like a 3-year-old or 3-generation-old mid-range graphics card, and it's $400 still. Andrew Rogers, $10 for the okay, you can start now fun. Cheers. Okay. There we go. I was going to set up the other camera, by the way, so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing, but it's the sensor is all borked on it again, and it's in green mode. That camera likes to work for a couple months and then stop working. Okay, behold, we have our DIN brackets on the bottom. Our DIN is done. Okay, so that is that. We've installed that. So again, if you are using the slide-in M3 nuts, these post-install nuts that the LDO kit comes with, just be aware, you may have to use slightly longer screws because they're not as thick. So like, I had to use M3 10 versus M3 8 for this, for example. Okay, and now we attach our Z joints. Sweet. So these are going to be attached with M26s. Sweet. Okay. Two 6s. So who else is waking up at like 7 in the morning tomorrow to watch hockey? I'm kind of tempted to. I probably won't, but when I wake up, I'll watch. How the next gen GPUs won't be coming out till 2027. I know. Have you seen the meme of the here, let me see if I can find it. Reddit /r/3D or PC master race. Let me find it here. PC. Yeah. Let me see if I can find it. Top. This week. Yeah, this. Like I have a 3090, so it's not too bad, but like for a lot of people, because usually the rule of thumb is like you skip a generation, right? So I'm sure there's a lot of people that have like 3070s, 3080s, 3060s that were like, okay, you know, the 5000 series, those are kind of expensive. We'll wait a little bit and then we'll get, you know, a 6000 something. And it's like, like it sucks so much how expensive all this shit is. And it's not so much, well, it's all the expense, but it's like the availability. Like, you know, I keep it here because it's, you know, this is my 8800 GT. Okay. I had an aftermarket heat sink on it because the stock fan died, so I had an aftermarket and I took it off. That's why you see all these. But yeah, 8800 GT, 512 megabytes. Okay, 8800. I walked in to a Future Shop and dropped $300 on the table and bought the second from the top of the line GPU. Like, I think it was like 8800 GTX or the 8800 Ultra was like the top tier. But this is like top of the line GPU. It had a 6-pin connector and it was single slot. This was top of the line in like 2008. I bought this so I could play Modern Warfare online at a good frame rate. And now, like, a top tier X800 series graphics card is like $1,500. Like, Amazon Canada. Let's see, how much is a 5800? RTX 5800. $2,000. $2,000 Canadian for an RTX 5080. $2,000 Canadian for an RTX 5080. So like the same generation as that card in terms of like the structure of the pricing structure. I paid $300 for that Canadian. It is ridiculous how like inflated the price of all this stuff has gotten. I don't like it. I don't like it. More energy efficient. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. You don't need a crazy... The problem is, too, like, games need more than ever to run. People are running higher resolution monitors. Like, if everyone gamed at, like, 1080p 60, you can get by with a lot more. But, like, if you're trying to run a game at, like, 1440p or 4K... It's like you need more power, you need more RAM, you need more, yeah. GTX 980. I went from, I remember. So my very first family computer, I can't remember what it originally came with, but eventually we got it upgraded. It had a Radeon 9200 SE in it. And then when I built my, I bought a laptop. The laptop had a Radeon 9700 Pro, an ATI Radeon 9700 Pro. And then when I built my first desktop, it had a 7600 GT in it. So I had an AMD 3800 X2 with a NVIDIA 7600 GT. I upgraded that to an 8800 GT. And then from the 8800 GT, I went to a AMD 5770. 5770 to a 7870. From the 7870 to a 1060. And then I had the 1060 all the way up until I replaced it with a 5700 XT, an AMD 5700 XT, and then a 3090. So. I will say the 3000 series has kind of held up pretty well. As long as you're like, as long as you, most games, like even my 3090, as long as you turn RTX off, you get crazy good frame rates even at 1440p on most games. Like Cyberpunk, pretty much I run everything at ultra with RTX off and I'm getting 100 plus FPS all the time at 1440p. Where's the 3DF Voodoo crowd at? I don't think they're around anymore. A 4090? Yeah, 4090s are nice. Rule of thumb has always been kind of skip a generation. There's no point going from like a 3090 to a 4090. But going from a 3090 to a 5090 is a pretty big upgrade. Like usually my rule of thumb is buy whatever like the second best thing from the last generation when I upgrade. That's always been like my way of doing it. Like the 5700 XT I got used, the 3090 I got used. Don't be afraid to buy used. The problem is the used market is so bad right now because the new market is so bad. Next, the art cards I've heard are pretty good. If you're looking for just like a pretty, like a good solid 1080p card, the art cards I've heard are pretty good. The Intel art cards. Plus competition is always good. Especially now considering like nobody makes entry-level cards anymore. Like I rocked that 1060 for like 5 years until I got a used 5700 XT. And even then, I ran a i5 2500K as my main desktop CPU from like whenever it came out to whenever the Ryzen 3700X came out. So from whenever the i5 2500K came out to whenever the Ryzen 3700X came out, I ran that i5 2500K. I still have that computer built. i5 2500K, I think 16, either 8 or 16 gigs of RAM, I can't remember, it's DDR3, and a 1060, GTX 1060. I still have that computer. Legacy equipment, yeah. Now it's a B750. Well, the problem is fab production right now. Like Intel still has their own foundries, right? Everyone else uses TSMC, and TSMC is just, why would you bother making consumer level shit when you can make, you know, AI cards for companies that'll pay through the ass for them, right? That's why like Nvidia's like, yeah, we're just gonna not care about the consumer market for a bit because we can make so much more money making AI cards. Like it sucks for consumers right now because we're just not that big of a market. But everyone needs to pretend they're an AI company with venture capital and just walk into a foundry and be like, I need to acquiesce 40% of your supply. I will pay you in the future. And they'll be like, yes, give us, here's your cards. All right. So we got that installed. Now we're building the drives. Let's build the drives. So I got a feeling I'm going to need my Metal Gear kernel. Metal Gears. Laptop is a 12900 with a 3080. Yeah, you're fine. Like, especially with a laptop. Metal Gear kernel. Okay. So we can skip building these because we don't need to because we have metal ones. So now we go to this. So now we need to build this shaft. So I'm assuming we're going to need the motion section here. So we'll do that. Okay, so we're going to need, don't need you, don't need you, don't need you, don't need you. You can all go in here. Good old LDO Allen keys and wrenches and everything. All right. So stack it like it's hot. Grab your shaft and start putting bearings on it. Okay. Fun times. Let's get to it. We got M550. So I'm assuming we're using M550. You know, it says M547, M550. We're gonna need some 6252RS bearings, 6252RS, and pulley. And there's our Feetses, shaft ground flat. That. I'm gonna need rub screws. Okay, and we're gonna need washer. M5 washers. M5 washers. M5 washers. Here we go. You may run out of manual. I may run out of manual. Okay. I mean, we built a Micron before. So worst case, we just kind of start YOLOing it. But it shouldn't be too bad. Shouldn't be too bad. Okay, so we're building that. So we've got bearing. Washer. That. So I'm gonna have to put, where are these guys? Put these in. Can I bear with it? You make a funny joke, internet person. While I'm doing this, don't forget, if you haven't entered yet for your chance to win some Polymaker filament, link in the video description, enter for your chance. We'll be doing the draw at the end of stream. And then while you're down there, don't forget to like the smash button, ring the bell, subscribe if you're not subscribed. And if you want to help support the channel, the content I create, and the things I do, consider becoming a channel member, a Patreon supporter, or if you're really cool, gifting memberships to others. Next week, we have the members stream and whatnot. So if you want to hang out with that, you got to be a channel member. I think I need more of these because 1, 2, 3. I need 4 of those. Come on. Get in your hole. Dang it. So do all kits come as blind joint aluminum frame? For the most part, blind joints have been the standard for a while. Like I don't think I've ever built a kit that wasn't blind joints. It's kind of become the standard. Am I missing one? I am missing one. So there should be another bag of these, hopefully. Yeah, blind joints have kind of become the standard for frame assembly for a while now. It's easier. It's less expensive. The only printers I have that have like corner cubes are ones built with using like OG Misumi frames. So it's harder. It's more finicky to get them square unless you buy like the actual proper Misumi corner cubes with the indexing tabs and whatnot. So yeah, pretty much every kit you're gonna find blind joints nowadays. Okay, do I have? There's got to be more of those grub screws. I gotta have more grub screws. There's no way that kit only came with... Are we short on grub screws? Okay, apparently I'm short on grub screws. Am I missing something here? Was I not supposed to put 2 in every one? I mean, you're supposed to put 2 grub screws in every one. I mean, I could just steal some from... Don't think the rat rid kits... Well, the rat rid kits are a bit different. Okay, so I'll just steal some when I need some. Did I get snacky again? I hungry. I hungry. Oh shoot, that's what I forgot. I forgot to put these back in here. Don't lose these. Okay. Let's get back to putting this together. So you go on here. You go on here. Just kind of snug one of these down. Okay. And then you just go on. And again, snug it down. Okay. And then dual washers. And then one of these. Okay. So we basically built this. And then we need a loopy loop, and then it goes into there. So I need a loopy loop. Loopy loop. That's why my flue was so bad I didn't have enough iron. Ha! Funny joke. I will end you now. Delayed again? What's delayed? Okay, so that goes over that. 152, 152. That goes over that, and that goes over that. Okay. There we go. All right, so that is rubbing on that, or is that rubbing on that? No. Okay, so push that one right up against there. Tighten that. Tighten that. Okay. And then this one we push up against that. There we go. There we go. One done. Now we just do that 3 more times. Okay. Oh no. I've lost me nuts. Okay, and then we got 2 washers. Go. That is second here. Loosen that, loosen that. There we go. Okay, so you go there. Not a huge fan of that lineup. It feels like I think there should be more of a space, because like if you look at this, I don't think this washer is big enough, because if you look, there's a bit of a float there that I don't think is supposed to be there. Because this, I'm gonna double shim it. It shows 1 washer, but I think because these are the metal ones, we're gonna need more than 1. So I'm gonna put another washer in there. Just grab random stock washer that I have here. Yeah, because I think I should have 2 washers there. Steve, those jokes don't fly here. One warning. Don't try and justify it. Just move on. Okay, so we're gonna put another washer on here. Okay. Let's try this again. There we go. That is much better. That is much better there. There we go. Yeah, so I got to double washer it because these are... So now this is actually more centered, because before with the one washer, there was still a gap and it was floating and it was rubbing on the plastic. So, dang it. Okay, so that one's fixed. Sure that's tight. Yeah, that's tight. Okay, so I gotta fix this one. There we go. What pink is it? It is LDO. It's LDO Filament. LDO provided a bunch of filament, so it's LDO ABS Plum Pink. And it is a very nice pink. I like it. It is nice and bright without it being like too bright and on the eyes. It's a very nice pink. So plum pink. So it's not as bright as you would think it would be, but it's nice and it's a clean bright, if that makes sense. But yeah, it's LDO Plum Pink. It's a good material to start with. What do you mean good material to start with? For printing? I mean, if your printer is a modern 3D printer, you can print PLA, PETG, no problem. If you got a direct feed extruder, so that means the extruder is on the tool head itself, TPUs and flexibles, no problem. If your printer is enclosed, ABSs and ASAs should print no problem. Modern printers are a heck of a lot better than ones from like 5 years ago. So if you are buying a modern 3D printer, printing any modern material should be no problem. Nobody like pretty much every printer nowadays ships with an all metal hot end. So you don't need to worry about like, you know, melting a PTFE heat break anymore. So like, honestly, if you're new to 3D printing, you're probably going to stock up with a bunch of PLA because that's like the go-to Fisher-Price My First material. It doesn't stink that much. It's easy to print. It's a good material until you start running into the downsides of it. But for like, if you're like, you know, printing a bunch of flexi whatevers, you're fine with PLA. Oh, dang it, I did this backwards. Put this one on backwards. If you're looking to stock up on Filament, check out Polymaker, link in the video description. It is an affiliate link, won't cost anything extra, it'll go a long way in supporting the channel. Also, friendly reminder, right now, Gamer Supps for the next week has a 20% off sale. So if you want to get some Gamer Supps, save some money, use code Canuck, link in the video description, 20% off for the next week. Stock up. It's good stuff. There we go. Last one. Is stream chat not live chat? I believe stream chat it's whatever it gets pulled by the bot, which I think it defaults to just top chat. I don't think it shows live chat. It's whatever the Nightbot or whatever pulls, and I don't have control over it. Does PTG need an air filter? Not really. Depends on the printer. If your printer's enclosed, rule of thumb is just let the print finish before opening it up. Let the print finish before you open the door. Because most stuff like ABS and whatnot, like the off-gassing, will just rise and settle on the frame, like on the interior panels. Just don't open it until the print's done. Unless you have like a sensitivity to anything, you really don't need to worry about like technically in a perfect world, yes, you should always have like some sort of filtration or vent outside or whatever. But considering, you know, cooking bacon puts out more VOCs than running a print, and nobody friggin', you know, cooks bacon outside with a mask on. Yeah, is what it is, right? It's all about acceptable risk. What do you consider acceptable? If you print the odd random thing out of ABS once a month, Do you need to have a full venting system for your printer? Not really. If your printer is like mine is, where they are either in a garage detached, like not in my living space, or they're in a room in the basement that has the door closed all the time and the vents closed, I don't really worry about that shit. But, you know, I kind of play it fast and loose with that stuff to begin with. So it's up to you and how like paranoid you want to be about it. Personally, I really don't care that much. Like, it depends on how much you print too, right? Again, if you just print like a kilogram a week at most of PLA, you're probably fine. You're probably having more off-gassing from your like carpet and what you cook than anything. But if you're running like a full print farm of ABS in your basement and you're buying like cheap, stinky ABS, yeah, you probably want to look into some sort of filtration. The problem I have with filtration, my biggest problem with filtration is I'm lazy. I am not replacing carbon pellets on a half dozen printers regularly. I'm too lazy to do that shit. I don't think I've ever replaced the carbon on any printer that I've ever built that had, half the time I don't even bother installing that shit. So it's going to come down to like, you know, it's just one of those things that's going to come down to, you know, as Obi-Wan said, you must do what you feel is right. Okay, I'm not your dad. I'm not your mom. If you got little ones in the house, you probably should take some more precautions, right? If it's just you and you're a pack-a-day smoker and you work in a factory mining asbestos, you're probably, your 3D printer is probably the least of your worries, right? So. Okay. So now we have all of our Z modules built up. There we go. We've done that. That's installed. Neat happens. Check the bearings. Make sure that's good. And then we have these little top plates that go on, and those go on with M3/8. So we need these top plates. Or I think I put them on. 1, 2, 3. M3/8. So I've been kind of making it a habit of the screws that I have like a lot of, I'm just dumping them into a stock instead of pulling from inventory. So these are going to be a little funky because they have, they line up because there's A's and B's, and you just got to line up the corners, and they have little indexing points and whatnot. There we go. I don't know what goes on this side, so I'm assuming something goes on that side. Some of these parts, if the, 1 second. I got this like white residue on it. This is like stress marks from popping them off the bed. Or it might just be like from the vision miter. If this is visible, I'll just hit it with a heat gun. If it's not visible, I don't care. Ah. If you're wondering why I didn't do any Twitch streams this week, why we didn't finish Control, it's because the 2 days I was going to stream, my wife was home sick, and the computer room is right next to the bedroom. So I didn't want to be talking on the computer while she, you know, because when you stream, you project your voice, right? You don't want to talk like this. Nobody wants to listen to somebody talk like this for 3 hours. It's super annoying. So you have to talk and project your voice, right? That's one of the first things you learn as a streamer is you have to talk like you're talking to people. You know, you're by yourself, and that's loud. So everyone in my house was sick last week and the week before. Finally over it, but everyone has this like lingering cough right now where they're just like coughing out all the phlegm. I hate it. I hate it. Did I? Yeah, they got heat sets, yeah. I like control. We got to finish it. We got to finish it. I think I have like 1 or 2 play sessions left in the main story. I'm liking it. It's definitely a game that I think I would have got more out of it if I didn't stream it. But it's kind of fun bantering with chat, trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. But I got to finish it because the next game we got a bunch of games we got to finish playing. Yeah, I gotta play Final Fantasy still. I've heard really good things about that game, and I think that would be a fun stream game. Wait a minute. Why am I doing this like a frickin' Neanderthal? We have power tools. Low settings so I don't strip them. Remember, all the phlegm hacking is the body carrying out mopping up operations. I know. It's disgusting. Yeah, I plugged it into the charger. It's actually charged for once. Someone's farming content? No. Maybe we'll do Farm Simulator next week. A metal printer. Yeah, having a metal printer is all fun and games until it's like, you know, you realize it's cancer. If you think resin printing is bad for you, metal printing with the metal powder is like 1,000 times worse. It is literally black lung in a box. Shit is horrible for you. Like, absolutely horrible for you. Go. And then we have that piece, and that connects on with M325s. Okay. And those are more accent pieces. 1, 2. $3.25. Socket head, M325. Not button head, these are button head. $16, $335, $320, and $325. How does that go? So that goes like that. And that goes like this. So it's gonna go on like that and that. Just like that. It's really cool. It's a neat way of doing it. Very nice. I had to buy a 5080 after my 3080 Ti died from leaking pipe. Ooh, water cooling? Ooh. I don't trust water cooling. Like, I know it's pretty good nowadays, but like, I have no problem with air cooling. Is there a way, can you put these on backwards? Like, okay, good. They are indexed. Good. So they are indexed, so you can't put them on backwards. That's good to know. Like, is the water cooling the print head of your printer is like, unless you absolutely, like, unless you're printing Peak and Ultim and your printer is an oven, it is overkill for 99% of people. Like, the vast majority of people that water cool their tool heads on a printer, you know, especially with like modern materials that they build hot ends out of. Like, modern hot ends are so much better at heat dissipation and everything. You can get by with air pretty reliably to a very certain point. And then you're just asking for a leak. War on 3 is about to be released. I don't know. What did Steve say? Steve said it must be true. Yeah, just submerge your printer in like mineral oil. Could you do that? You'd have issues with the print sticking to the bed, I think, if you tried to do that. It'd be kind of cool though, but I don't think it would actually work. Any ideas when the new Voron? I don't know. Is there a Voron 3.0? I have no idea. Stuff gets announced when it's ready. There we go. Okay, now we need some motors. So grab that, and we got to grab some pulleys and a 10mm space. So I'm going to need these guys, which means I'm going to need more set screws, which I don't know why this kit didn't come with enough set screws. I'm actually kind of surprised. So I gotta steal some from these guys. Oh well. Stuff is always kind of being worked on with Voron. As for official releases of things, it's just kind of when stuff is ready. Because either you announce it too early and you end up like a Phoenix situation where you announce it and it's still not out like 2 years later and people start getting antsy. Or it's like, surprise! And I think more people would prefer the surprise than the announce and then it take like 2 years for it to actually come out. So Good thing I have this whole stock of MXL pulleys that are junk that I can steal set screws out of. Think everyone misheard Steve? Well, I mean, Steve is working on something right now, but I don't know what he's working on. What is Steve working on? He's working on stuff. Stuff's being worked on. I don't know. Stuff's always being worked on. Tried it in the works? Probably. I wouldn't be surprised if you see some updates, like a revision update to something. But in terms of like Voron V3 coming out, one, we wouldn't call it V3. We've moved away from the naming convention of using V number because that confuses people, apparently. So things have actual names now. So there wouldn't be a Voron V3 like how there is the V2. Because right now there's V0, Trident, and V2. There is no V1 anymore. V1 is now Trident. So if there will never be a V3, because if a V3 were to ever happen, it wouldn't be V3. It would have a name. Because numbers are confusing to people, apparently. So. Okay. So, that 10mm gap. I need to make a 10mm gap. Do I have anything 10mm that I can use for a gap? Where is my... That works. No, that doesn't work because that's that stupid thing. Because it's 10mm off the bottom. I don't have... Did I print a tool to help with this? I don't think I did. Maybe I did? No, I did not. That is annoying. How big is you? How big is you? So I need an 8mm gap. And then that goes on like that. Upside down. Yeah, it's 10mm from the stupid thing. Yeah, good point. So how big is that? So that's 8mm minus, it's a flange. Okay, the flange is 1.5, so that's 6.5 then. 6.5. .49. I can live with 6.49. Oh, it's just flush with the top. Okay, that's easy. Make it flush with the top. Easy peasy. So it ends up being, at least with these ones, with the way everything is, it's just flush with the top. What time is it? Is it bureau clock yet? I gotta start pre-gaming for the hockey game in the morning. Wake up, make a nice breakfast, watch hockey. I just know if we lose, Trump's going to tweet about annexing Canada again. So, I'm hoping we win. There we go. David's here. Everyone say hi, David. How you doing, David? What is good in the proverbial hood? It's new and exciting. You're building an astromech, aren't you? I seen. Was that you who shared some pictures? Oh, and then we put this on. Okay, so we put that on with M38s. Canada versus US. Yeah, it's Canada versus US for gold. I love how it's like, if we win, yay. If we lose, eh. But like when other countries face us, it's like life or death. For Canada, it's like, hey, if we win, we win. If we lose, we lose. We got curling. We won curling, so that was fun. So make sure when you mount this, that there's 3 tabs, and the one tab here in the middle is facing in the wires. So just remember that. And I just finished Canada made at mill machine. Alt mill? What is that? Alt mill machine. What is an alt mill machine? Alt mill. Ooh! Oh, that's cool little router thing. Oh, that's cool. Is this for personal, or are you starting up a new business already? Can't just relax. Okay, so remember, anytime you're personal use, nice. I wish I had room for machines like that. So remember, whenever you're putting in something where you have multiple screws, so in this case 4 screws, get them all started first and then go through and tighten them down. Because if you go and tighten one in, it might be not locked in location, and then when you go to put the other ones in, it's all not lined up. So always get them all started and then go through and tighten them. And then for this, I'm using, because these are button heads and I'm terrified of stripping them, I have this on the lowest setting, and I'll just go through by hand and hand tighten them after. Stop leaving them on. The batteries on these suck, so they turn off automatically. Yeah, when possible, tighten it in an X pattern, yeah. Like, you're screwing into plastic. Like, let's be honest, this isn't like you're not tightening lug nuts on a car, so it's not that important. But it's one of those, it's a good practice to get into kind of thing. Yeah, it sucks because I have Midatoyo, but it shorted on me and died. And because I bought it used, I don't have a receipt, and they wouldn't fix it for me. So disappointed. Own a bunch of CNC routers, and right now the alt mill is easily the best under 20K CNC. Just love the name of the company making it, alt mill. Nice. I mean, it does look pretty, like, like these all kind of look the same. Let's be honest, these all kind of look the same. There's only so many ways you can build it, but the fact that it's on rails, looks like pretty beefy rods. You got lead screws. How big's the spindle on that? 48 volt. Comes with an 80 mil spindle. I mean, if you're doing anything flat, like especially wood, this would chew through wood, no problem. What are you gonna be making with it? What are you gonna be making with it? CNC is such a pun in the name. Oh, CNC. Yeah. I get it. Coasters. Get it? CNC. 3D printers. You're getting back in the 3D printing game? We gotta have an offline chat, me and you. Now I'm interested. Somebody want to start up a 3D printing company in Southern Ontario so I can work for them? I wish Saval made the 0 180. How big is this? It's 150, right? I mean, I have one. I have a Saval 0. It is a nice machine. It suffers from the problem, though, of small printers in that size, where it is a nice machine, but the problem is the cost makes it a not good ROI. It is a very good small machine. The problem is for the price, you get multiple small machines. You get like 3 A1s. The Pantheon guys are cool. The Pantheon guys are in Vancouver. Vancouver is on the other side of the country, and Canada's a big country, and it's not cheap to live in. So as cool as it would be to work for the Pantheon folks, it's a bit of a travel. And you know, if it was just little old me, I would do it in a heartbeat, but I'm not moving the family. And I can't really move the family. With the little guy, his whole support system's here. So it would be very unfair to him to move him around. So. I'm wondering if that is Vision Miner or, okay, that is. Yeah, that is stress mark. So I'm gonna have to hit that with a heat gun to clean those up. The commute on that one would be rough. Yeah. Plus they are like downtown Vancouver. They are downtown Vancouver. So like they are in Vancouver. Like at least like Linus Media Group, LMG, they're ways out of Vancouver. They're in Langley and they're right at the edge of the town. Like literally like their little area they're in. I mean, you can pull it up on Google Maps. So it's not a hidden thing where LMG is at. Linus Media Group. Like you could just Google it. But this is the industrial site they're at. So that's their like main facility. And then the warehouse is over here. And it's just farm field all in front of them. So they're there. But Pantheon is like somewhere in here in Vancouver. They're like in this area. They're like in like the downtown area. So Linus Media Group, yeah, they're easy to get to. They're easy to get to. They're in like an industrial area. Like you can just bloop. It's public. It's like one of these buildings. It's like this one or something. And then the creator warehouse is like right here. This one is like the creator warehouse. where they do all the creator stuff and whatnot. So I'll move to Detroit and you can sneak Filament across the border using mini submarines. David, brother, it's winter. You just walk across the ice. Just walk across it. We don't need no submarine. You just walk across it. Take your skidoo. And off you go. I mean, they still find, it is funny, they still find every couple of years, they find an old like Model T at the bottom of Lake Erie filled with rum from the rum running days. Because there used to be like all these speakeasies along the shore of the Detroit River and then like, you know, along like Lake Erie. Because people would just take their boat across the lake or the river in the summer and just go to a speakeasy and just get like booze, and then they would bring it back. And in the winter, they would drive it across the frozen lake, and every now and then a car would go through with it. So they would find them. Every couple of years, they find one. It's pretty cool. So there's like a bunch of, there's a couple islands around Point Pelee and Pelee Island where they used to have like speakeasies on the island and shit like that. Okay. So that goes on there. Oh, that's the tensioning. Oh, that's pretty cool. So we got M320s and a washer. Okay. And those are socket head. Okay. So M320s. $16, $30, $20, but those are button heads. There we go. And now I need my washers. There we go, washers. It boos a little watered down now. Actually, no. They crack them open every now and then. You'd be surprised how good condition they're still in. Like, it's actually surprising how well a lot of it has held up over the years. I mean, to be fair, like they age. Like, if you're on the waterfront, it's pretty cool because they have the where is it? Yeah, Windsor Club. So if you're driving down the waterfront in Windsor, so like here, let me just do this. So like driving down the waterfront, there's Detroit, right? There's the Renaissance Center. And if you call it anything else, you can tell that's how you're not a local. But like right here is JP Weiser's. Like, and Hiram Walker's. This is Hiram Walker's right here. So this is where they make, let's go up here. So you can go on a tour of this building. But this is where they make like JP Weiser's and whatnot. So this is all on the waterfront. So it's owned by Hiram Walker's. And then out in the county, like 10 minutes from my house, is where they age it all. So these buildings right here are all the buildings that they age all the whiskey in. So it's like, this is where they age it all. It's all in there, so I drive by that all the time. Anyone ready for a snow? Are we getting snow tomorrow? We're not getting snow. I mean, we're getting a little bit of snow. Who's getting snow? Is it an East Coast thing? Like, you guys, 13 to 18 inches by Monday? That's what she said. I'm assuming that's East Coast getting it, because we're not getting snow here. Weiser, JP Weiser's like my go-to. I don't really drink much. Actually, speaking of drink, I'm gonna grab a beer. Why? Because why not? It's Saturday night. It's my stream. I can do what I want. But when I do drink whiskey, Weiser's is my go-to usually. I like it with a splash of water. Just JP Weiser's neat, add a little water, good to go. So, still got a couple land sharks left, so. Anyone's printer bed leveling ever fail and bend the shit out of a lead screw? I haven't had that happen, but it can happen. 18 inches in New York, damn. That's a lot of snow. I mean, I'm a big proponent of, if it is winter, I want it to have snow. I would rather it be -2 with snow than +2 and just be dreary, wet, and rainy. Like, I've been living in Silent Hill the past week because it's been like just above freezing and everything is so waterlogged that like we've had nonstop fog every day. So that has been my that has been my life for the past week, is just fog and living in Silent Hill, basically. So these are loose. That's a pretty clever way to tighten it, too. You just screw into that and that tightens up. Cool. Okay, that's one. So this is actually a pretty simple way of doing it. So you got your Z drive here, right? And then you have this. Just kind of hook it in there. And then M320. Washer. Washer. And then you just screw it in until it's snug, back it off half a turn because you need it to be loose until you tighten it, and there's another one. Easy peasy. So, nice and simple. On this side of lake. Yeah, so I use Celsius for temperature, air temperature. But like growing up as a kid, we used Fahrenheit because I mean, like, we're right across from Detroit. So like I'm used to the American vernacular for a lot of stuff, right? Like, I buy my shoes at Mr. Allen's, 29 or 250. There's like one person in chat who's local to me who will understand that reference. And they're gonna be like, but I've pretty much moved over to metric for temperature. Oven, yeah, oven, when you cook stuff in the oven, it's Fahrenheit. Pool temperature is in Fahrenheit, so water temperature is Fahrenheit. Unless you're cooking, then it's Celsius. Air temperature is Celsius. Distance is in kilometers, and speed is in kilometers per hour. Fuel economy is in miles per gallon, though. Height is in feet and inches. Measurements for woodworking is in feet and inches. Snow is in centimeters, though. We just kind of use we just kit bash all the measurement systems. Like, officially Canada is 100% a metric country, but because we're like right next to the States and we deal with the States so much for business and whatnot, like when I worked in the mold shop, everything we did was in inches and thou. Like, every unit of measurement was inches and thou, right? We didn't use like millimeters on the floor at all. The engineers in the office would design everything in millimeters for most of our, it depended on the customer. If it was an American company, a lot of the time they wanted it in an inch. If it was like a European or an international company, they would want it in millimeters and whatever. They would want it in metric. But the thing is, like, on the floor, when we opened up the files for the molds, like open up the CAD, the computers on the floor would all be set in inches. All the bridge ports and the lathes and all the manual machines on the floor at the shop, they were in inches and thou, like everything with thou. So, because you don't use fractions. You don't use fraction. Fractions are stupid. You use inches and thou. So it's 2 inch, 300 thou. Like, so when I got into 3D printing, it actually took me a little bit to get used to working with millimeters because I was so used to working with inches and thou. Fractions are so stupid. Like, inches and thou make sense. Like, inches as a unit is, fun fact, the inch is based on millimeters. 1 inch is 25.4 millimeters. So 1 inch, and then thou. Thous are easy. It's 1,000 thou is an inch. So if it's 450 thou, that's a very actual precise unit. Because it's like 4 thou is 0.1 millimeter, essentially, like in napkin math. Okay, and then an M316 comes in from the side. Really annoying because I saw the M316s earlier. There we go. Fractions are for people too lazy to do the division work. Yeah. Fractions are for carpenters, I guess. It's just really annoying. It's like add 3/16 to 7/8, and it's like, what? So now we are adding in an M316 here. So this is how you tighten the loop. One inch plus a bit. Whatever Google tells me it is. 2x4 used to be 2x4. Yeah, now isn't it 2x4 is undersized to account for like drywall or something like that? Or I can never remember. Is it because of drywall thickness, or is it because like the wood is cut to 2x4 and then that before drying, and then after it dries, it shrinks to like 1.5 by like 2 3/4 or whatever it is. Just kind of get them all feeling about the same in terms of tension. Right about there. There we go. 1.5 and 3.5 for drywall. Yeah. You 2x4s are rough cut at the sawmill to 2x4, and then the milling smoothness reduces. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I know. It's like I used to watch a lot of home renovation shows back in the day. Like when me and my wife first started dating, that's all we used to do at night was just like watch home renovation shows, like Homes on Homes and whatnot. We used to just binge watch that shit back in the day. And like, I remember watching a few episodes where it's like they worked on like an old home. And it was like so annoying to work on everything because everything was like 2x4s were 2x4. And so they're like trying to like adapt stuff to the old standards. And they're like, this sucks. Everything was plaster. Screw popcorn ceilings too. Never, ever, ever put popcorn ceilings. If you have the chance to pick a ceiling type for your house and they're like, oh, do you want to do popcorn ceiling? Run away. Do not put popcorn ceilings in your house, ever. They are the devil. They are a nightmare if you ever have to do any work. because you cannot patch it. You cannot patch it. Okay. Repeat the steps to assemble that. Okay, cool. Hey, look, they're all done. Yay! And now we're building those. Okay. I guess we're not attaching them yet. The Detroit rental lady got fired and all her episodes removed for streaming for using derogatory language. I heard about that. I haven't watched home shows in a while. Like, I don't watch the HGTV where they get like celebrities, like personality people to do home renovation. Like, I watched a lot of like Homes on Homes back in the day. So they're just corny. Okay, I guess we're building our AV modules now. Okay, cool. So we have pins for this apparently. So I have 2 sets of printed parts here, and I gotta find which ones are the pinned ones. Because I have one set that are pinned and then one set that aren't pinned, and I don't know which ones are which. It's nice to have a monoblock water manifold. Oh yeah, I wish we had that in mind. My house is all copper. The joys of builder grade in 2000. Okay, I think this is pin. Yeah, I think, okay, so that's pin. And then I don't know which one's which. How do you tell which one's pinned and which one's not? More options in a new car. Because we have I think we got the pinned variant is what we got. Okay, so those are, okay, that's screws. Yeah, the pin ones have bigger holes. Or the screw ones have bigger holes, I think. Yeah. Yeah, okay. The pin variants, the A-drive frame upside down, insert 2. Okay, so there we go. Sweet. So that one goes there, that one goes there. So the pins are M325s. Ooh. Okay, so what do we got here? We got 3 M325s. Oh, we got 6 of them. Okay. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. M325s. Okay. Let me grab a little percussive assistance device. There we go. Little tap a tap. Little tap a tap tap. And then a little tap a tap tap. Qubits. Qubits! Do I have an end stop there? Still more, okay, shoot, I have an end stop there? What? There's an end stop there? Okay, I guess I have an end stop there. Are we doing sensorless? I can't remember. Is this kit sensorless or does it use an end stop? Let me see, what do we got for electronics? Cables. Clicky micro switch, filament sensor cable, filament sensor cable. Okay, so I'm assuming, is this sensorless? I think it's sensorless. LDO Micron Kit. I mean, show me a picture of the X or the. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I don't see an end stop. So I guess it's sensorless. Yeah, I guess we're sensorless. Okay. Yeah, the kit is sensorless, yeah. Because that is... Yeah, there's no end stop there. Yeah, so we are sensorless. Okay, that makes sense. So we have a little accent piece that goes there, apparently. Did I print a little accent piece that goes there? I think I did. Sweet. I did. Cool. That doesn't want to go in there. There we go. Okay. So we got that. Bearing stacks. Put a 1 in chat if you love bearing stacks. I love bearing stacks. They're so cool. So we got shim washer. So this is M36 shim. 5.5. Okay, that'll work. I love shim. It is so cool. We got 1. And what are our bearings? What are our bearings? Oh, we got F623 RS. Jake England, 2 pounds. Cheers and appreciate it. Adding to the fish and chip. Dude, fish and chips. I'm looking forward to getting me some proper British fish and chips. Okay. So remember, every time you do a bearing stack, it's shim, bearing, shim. Always. And when you have a double stack, shim, bearing, shim, and then another shim, bearing, shim. You gotta have 2 shims in the middle. You have a double stack. Otherwise, it don't work. And you will have alignment issues. Okay. And then we put the top on. How many Ugga Duggas? Not too many. These screws are only for screwing into plastic. Okay. Well, in this case, they're pins, so they're not screwing into plastic at all. So they're just... Now the fun part, lining this up. shit. I lost the shim. I lost the shim. This, it's just a piece of brass. Just a beater piece of brass. From me mold making days. Trying to line this all up. Ah, shoot. Lost that shim again. Dang it. It's, almost got it. There we go. There we go. Okay. So we got that in. And then we grab our motor and put that on. Ooh, these are long shaft. Stealth changer build next. Yeah, we'll get back to it after. Maybe we'll balance between the two. But I kind of want to get like these builds done and out of the way to free up room. So we don't have like 20 different kits just kind of taking up space everywhere. Beetsies are cold. Okay, so we got 13.8 millimeters. Yeah. Yep. Venture SL took a few more than I thought. Oh, I know. So 13.8, and I'm assuming that base right there is 2. Yeah, 2. So that'll be 11.8. So 11.8 millimeters. Can always adjust it if we need to. That'll do. Okay. And then, okay, so we have, that comes out to the outside. Okay. So that goes that. And then we need that accent piece, which is the top part, which I think is this. Yeah. And then what? F695 bearing. F695. 695. Finish the stealth changer just in time for index. Funny joke. It's true though. Okay, so I need to press fit that guy in there. There we go. Okay, and then M335. Yeah, double shear, so it's extra strong. As always, get it started, get all three started, and tighten. Okay. And then, got an M36 that goes in there. There we go. Don't want double shear, then you just install those. Okay, and then we do the other side. Sweet. So that is the one module. So this is looking at it from the front. So this is the A module. Because remember, on a V2, if you don't know which one's the A and the B, it's a sheep. It goes bah. So if you're looking at your V2, that's the B motor, that's the A motor, because it goes bah. Like a sheep. Bah. There, you'll never forget it now. B motor, A motor. Bah. Okay. You know what? I'm going to leave those calipers on just because you said it. We're going to need them in a minute anyways. Just because you said it. It's like an I hate when they have like a little burr on the pins. And it's like they don't, once they're on, they're on. It's just getting started. It's annoying. There we go. And this one is just 2. Good calipers auto off pretty quickly, and they don't really use up a lot of power. These cheap Chinese ones, even when they're off, they'll drain power regardless. There's really nothing you can do. They just kind of suck down power like that. Okay, well, I got a feeling this isn't the right one. Because it isn't. This is the right one. No, that is the wrong one. Is this the right one? No, that's not the right one. Is this the right one? No, because that is not the right one. That is too loose. Did I grab the wrong one? Or is this the right one? That's just really... Okay, that is... Why is this so much looser? I mean, maybe... No, that's right. That's right. It's just... Why were these ones so tight to go in? Oh well. Oh well. Okay. Okay. That is that. Oh, look, it turned off. Look, look, look. You hit me with the sun. Look. Okay. So this one is 11.6 millimeters. Look, look, you hit me with the stand. Look. So 11.6 minus 2 is 9.6. I'm sorry, the MLG era of like gamer poop videos is like peak internet culture, and I will fight anyone that disagrees with that. That like 2008 to 2012 era of shit posting videos on YouTube, that was peak culture, and I'm sorry, we will never get back to that. I blame Logan Paul. Why? I don't know. I just blame Logan Paul. Okay. What is this? It's that time again. What is it? Oh, that's a double shear thing. Oh, that's a double shear thing, I think. What goes in here? What goes in there? Is it like a little cap or something? 695. Pure ponage. Boom! Headshot. I'm dancing. I'm just dancing. I used to have the beanie. I used to have the pure ponage beanie. Like I had that at some point. It was like one of the first things I purchased of like internet culture stuff. Did I build this backwards? Wait a minute. This doesn't make sense. Did I? This makes no sense. Why are these the same? Yeah, because okay, I built the same one twice. That's why. Okay. Then this one is this one. So which? I built the wrong one. I put together the wrong one. Shoot. I built the wrong one. That's why. It's this one. This one I need to build. That explains it. Yeah, that explains it. Okay, I built the wrong one. That's why. That explains it. I built the wrong one. That explains it. I built it using the wrong one. That's why. So you go there. There we go. That makes more sense. That makes more sense. Because that goes inward. That goes on there. And then that goes on here. There we go. That makes more sense. Okay, that makes more sense. Leet speak. Oh God, Leets. I think my high school graduation quote was like iPhone noobs or something like that. Yes, it was as cringe as you think it was in that time period. The Chuck, oh God, Chuck Norris Barron's chat. Chuck Norris Barron's chat, jeez. I remember. All your base are belong to us. Take off every zig. I can count to 55. 1. Cool. 53. Leroy Jenkins. I met him once in WoW. I created a character on the server they played on just so I could hunt him down and say hi. Pals for life. Trogdor. Albino Black Sheep. Remember Stick Death? Who remembers stickdeath.com? That angsty post 9/11 period of like Flash cartoons and whatnot. Or just like Flash cartoons to System of a Down music. Okay, I'm slide you up a little bit. There you go. There we go. Line that up a little bit better. That one lines up, that one lines. Is there like a little cap piece that goes on the top of that? There is a little cap piece and it's a main color piece. Okay, let's see if I can find that. Badger, 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 mushroom, mushroom, badger, 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 and then a snake. Did I print those parts? What is that part that goes on top of that? Did I print that? Downloads, STLs, gantry, AB drive, pin lower, double shear mounts, bearing retainer. I do remember printing that. I do remember printing that. Where did I put it? That is the question. Oh, here it is. It's like sometimes you have to like pull up the CAD to remember what the heck it even looked like. That's cool. So to keep your bearing from flying out, this just kind of goes in there and then it just locks it in place so it keeps the bearing from shifting. So there you go. So we got our AB motor mounts made. So we've done that, and then we have XY joint time. We are being productive today. This is a productive stream today. We are getting a lot of shit done. Don't forget, at the end of the stream, we are going to give away some filament. So if you haven't entered for your chance to win some Polymaker filament, link in the video description, enter for your chance. Do this now. So these are pinned. So the thing is though, I only have 2 more of these long pins, M325s. I only have 2 more of them. So how am I supposed to do this if I only have 2 and I need 4? Unless, oh, 2 come with the smooth idlers. That's why. Okay. Just a little bit, just to get a better view. Okay. So, Oh, I hate lining up these stupid parts. Okay, so this one goes here. And then this one goes here. Okay. So this one. Printed solid filament is going up in price. Oof. Is it? Yeah, it is what it is. The good old internet days were before 2005. I will argue. Okay, these are like press fit on. How are these supposed to spin? These don't spin. What are these for if these don't spin? Am I missing something here? Are these like the front idlers or something stupid like that? These don't spin. These aren't bearings. Yeah, you would think that, yeah. Live idlers? What are they for? Shaft knurled, pulley, 16 GT2, 10 millimeter tall, press fit. Okay, so that's not that. So obviously we use these ones, but I only have 2 pins left because they only gave me 6 pins. And these each ate up a pin, 2 pins. So I only got 6 M325s. So how am I supposed to... Am I short 2 pins? Am I short 2 pins? Am I missing something here? Because I need 4 and I only have 2. Because I only got 6. Because this ate up a bunch. So was I not supposed to do pin idlers for this? For the... Maybe for the XY joints, I'm not supposed to use pin idlers. Live idlers for XY joints, precision pins for ABZ. Oh, I'm supposed to print the live idler. Oh, I think I printed the wrong thing. I think for gantry, XY joints, live idlers. Oh, because these use live idlers. That's why. So I need live idlers. Oh! Okay, so I need to reprint these parts. Okay. So I'm gonna have to reprint those parts. Okay, so reprint those. And then I'm gonna need, okay, so Prusa Core 1, high flow. Cement ASA, you know it's not. 0.2 balanced. 40% infill. Layers. 3, 4, 5, 5. Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to reprint that. Okay, no biggie. No biggie. No biggie. Okay, so these are live. That's why they're pinned, because these are live idlers. So that means there's a bearing on each end of that spins. These don't. That makes sense. So send to connect. Core 1, 2, core 1. Live idlers mean instead of the bearing itself spinning on the shaft itself spins. So you have a bearing that the shaft sits within, and the whole shaft and press fit bearing spin. Okay, so instead of, okay, keep your mind out of the gutters, kiddies. So on a normal bearing, you have the shaft doesn't move and the bearing spins on the shaft. On a live idler setup, you have a bearing here and a bearing here, and the whole shaft and tooth idler spin. Okay, so these spin in the shaft. Keep your head out of the gutter. So this is the bearing, and it spins, versus this spinning on this and the bearing being in there. It means it lives longer. Your XY joints are usually like the first bearings to fail if you use tooth idlers, because they use the smallest bearings. They use pin bearings that have a habit of dying. So by using live idlers, it allows you to have beefier idlers that'll last longer in that XY joint. So that means we have to print some stuff. So I gotta print some new spacers too, probably. Let me just double check. Yes, live idlers are good. Fun fact, we used a lot of live idlers in V2.1, but then we got rid of them. I think V2.2 had live idlers too. I can't remember. I need to print this on the Core 1L transfer, because Core 1L is all this to print these two little spacers. Slice now. And to connect. It's going to be a 45-minute print with heat up for those two little things. Okay, so I guess that's about as far as we can go today then, because I got to reprint a bunch of stuff. But that's pretty good. We're getting near the end of stream anyways. So that was pretty productive. So let me update the title. So this is what's the title of the stream, just so people watching in the future know. ABNZ building. There we go. Nero After Dark. I mean, I could do Nero After Dark if you guys want me to go down that rabbit hole. Finished, finish. Are you not transferring your files? Did I not send these files to the printers? That one went to the printer. What does C mean? What does C mean? Network status. Connected. What does C mean? Oh, am I like, is my stupid thing full? Okay. Core 1, high flow. Yeah, that's that one. Okay, print settings. 4 wall, 5 top, 5 bottom, 40% infill. Slice that. Yeah, so you can see the pockets there for the bearings. Send to connect. Core 1.1. Set ready, print now. Oh, now it's transferring. Okay, it just didn't decide to work last time. I don't know why. Oh well. Actually, we'll take this chance. So if you haven't entered yet for a chance to win some Polymaker Filament, do it. Enter now. We're going to give some away at the end of stream. I'm going to clean up some of these burn marks, or not burn marks, stress marks on these prints while we wait. So if you ever get a print and so see how the top of this print, it's a gray print, and we have those stress marks there, the little white stress marks. Get a heat gun. Doesn't need to be too hot. We'll put it on low. Give it a little heat. All clean. Just be careful doing it after you've assembled stuff, because you don't want to accidentally melt your screws or your parts or anything. I kind of screwed up. I didn't purge out all the black that I had loaded before, so like a couple of these prints have like a crappy first layer that I'm gonna have to like fix. But just to give you an idea, oop, I accidentally melted my little plastic thing of shims. But like, for example here, just to show you how effective this is. So you've got all these parts here, right? You know what? We're gonna make a YouTube short. Who wants to make a YouTube short? Let's make a YouTube short. I gotta make content for the channel at some point, right? Am I recording? I am recording. Wow, boomer. Forget to hit the record. Let me turn the music off so I don't have background music in the background. Ta-da. Cool. Okay, has this ever happened to you? You take a print that you just finished off the bed and you have these white marks on the bottom. Guess what? They're stress marks. You want to know an easy way to get rid of them? Why am I on front camera? Hit the wrong button. There we go. Back camera. Cool. I'm a YouTuber. Are we good now? We're good now. Okay, so this is pretty annoying, right? You finish a print. I'm a YouTuber. I start coughing. Here, let me have a drink of beer. I hate doing shorts. I hate doing shorts. Pro YouTuber. Okay, so this is pretty annoying, right? You finish a print, you take it off the bed, and on the bottom you have these annoying white marks. Guess what? Those are stress marks, and they're very easy to actually get rid of. All you need is a heat gun. So you take your heat gun, you turn it on, and you just give your part a little heat. Not too much. You don't want to melt your part, obviously. But just hit it with a heat gun for a couple seconds. And there you go. Stress marks all gone. Easy peasy. There we go. Pro streamer. Yeah. I'm a YouTuber. Delete. 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 Move that all to the trash. Turn the music back on for you guys. Pro streamer. You know what the worst part is? Shitty content like that gets hundreds of thousands of views. I hate the algorithm. I hate the algorithm. I hate the YouTube algorithm. It is so annoying now. But yeah, you just hit it with a heat gun for a couple seconds and you're good. Okay, how did that turn out? How did that turn out? Let's take a look. Ah, look at my face. I gotta wash my hat. I have 1 gig internet. You'd think I would be able to watch this. Get off the bed, and on the bottom you have these annoying white marks. Guess what? Those are stress marks, and they're very easy to actually get rid of. All you need is a heat gun. So you take your heat gun, you turn it on, and you just give your part a little heat. Not too much. You don't want to melt your part, obviously. But just hit it with a heat gun for a couple seconds. And And there you go. Stress marks all gone. Easy peasy. There we go. So this is pretty annoying, right? You finish a print, you take it off the bed, and on the bottom you have these annoying white marks. Guess what? Those are stress marks, and they're very itchy. So let me just get some B-roll, because I'm going to edit a video. I'm actually going to edit a video. There we go. Cool. I will make content tonight. Okay, so what's left? We have to mount all that, so we got to print those. Okay, so those are going to print. So we'll put those together on Tuesday, and then we will continue on with that build series. This is going together pretty good. Somebody was saying the manual isn't done, though. Is the manual for this not finished? Is the manual for the Micron not finished? You mount your... Oh, it just ends here. The Micron manual just ends here. Oh. Okay. Do they plan on finishing it? Do they plan on finishing it? I mean, we built a Micron before on this channel, so I don't know what manual we used for that, or if we just kind of YOLO'd it at a certain point. I can't remember. What did we do? Because we built a Micron before on this channel, back when they were new. So did I just YOLO it? It has not been updated in about, so yeah, no, it's 7 months old. Have their own man. LDO has a wiring manual. LDO has a manual for their wiring. Let's be honest. This is the complicated stuff. Putting this on the frame, we don't really need a manual for. Like, the tool head, we'll just follow whatever tool head we use. Like, just pull up the CAD. We'll just do it the old school way. Back in my day, we didn't have no fancy manuals. So yeah, it's not that big of a deal that the manual just kind of ends there. So we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I'm not too concerned. I mean, it's a Micron, which is just a small V2. We've built enough V2s over the years. We kind of know what we're doing. But you have 9 minutes to enter for your chance to win some polymaker filament. So link in the video description. Because we're going to do that giveaway soon. So while you're down there, don't forget to like the smash button, ring the bell, subscribe if you're not subscribed. And remember, right now, Gamer Subs, 20% off right now, Gamer Subs. Late night impulse buy, purchase Gamer Subs, save 20%, use code Canuck. What's to lose? And their build guide on printer for ants. Printers for ants. Well, I think the printers for ants. Okay, why did it download the HTML? Okay. Dueling Zero, where's Micron? Because if you click on Micron, it brings you to the GitHub. And then the documentation on the GitHub is 7 months old, which is, this is the manual we have. So, like, it's not that big of a deal, like, once we get to the end of the manual. Because, like, okay, at this point, it's like mounting your XY joints and whatnot. Like, actually, the only thing I might be a little confused about is how the gantry mounts. But I'll just pull up the CAD and reference the CAD for the gantry mounts. So it's not that big of a deal. I smell burning. Oh, it's just melting plastic. So not too big of a deal. Not too big of a deal. Like, this is what I mean. This is what I mean about everyone shoving out laws right now that don't make sense. Colorado has a bill that would require operating systems such as Windows or Linux to perform age verification. The fuck? How would you even enforce that? Age signaling. Having to submit their government issue and whatever. It would be locally on the... See, okay, so here's the thing. We're going to go down a rabbit hole. We're not after dark yet, but there is too many fucked up people on the internet and in US government doing fucked up shit, okay? So yes, there should be some sort of way to ensure that kids don't get on certain sites. Roblox is freaking horrible for kids. I think like 4 kids so far this year have disappeared meeting people on Roblox, okay? Like, there needs to be a system. The problem is nobody has been able to figure out a way that doesn't involve my personal information going into some Palantir, Peter Thiel-owned frickin' cabal database that's gonna be used to persecute people in the future, right? Or all my information get leaked because, you know, these companies are shit with data security because they're using clankers to code everything. Like, the only way I can think of a system that would kind of work would be if there was some sort of like non-government entity that gave you like a hash code, right? So like you verify with some sort of third-party non-government entity somehow that like, but you got to make sure that they don't lose all your information, right? That's a problem. But it's like, if there was some way that you can get like a key, right? So you verify with a non-affiliated, non-government entity or whatever. They give you like a hash code, kind of like, you know, remember the World of Warcraft thumb drive, right? That gave you that little code or whatever. You push the button and gave you like that unlock. You get your little thumb drive, and then you can use that to verify you are of age. So the website doesn't know any of your information. It just knows that you've been verified to be of age. So the website doesn't hold any information. The problem is you still need that original entity to verify your age. And that's the problem, because I don't want to be giving these, especially these American sites, my information. You guys are fucked. I don't want you to have my information, as little as I can avoid, or as much as I can avoid. So I don't want my information going to some Palantir freaking database. So how do you have this like way of verifying? Because unfortunately the internet is so lawless, which we like you know, the internet being the Wild West. It's nice, it's open, it's free, everyone's equal. But then you have a lot of effed up people that take advantage of that. So it's like, and you know, in a perfect world it'd be like, leave the system as it is and just have parents parent better, but we all know that shit ain't working anymore. So it's like, it would be kind of nice that if there was like, even if like the government gave you like, every government just gave you like, this is your internet key, and like, so the websites themselves don't know any information about you. They just know your key verifies that you are of age, like, so that they don't have any information that's personal about you at all that they could use against you in like a database leak. But then it's like almost like a social security number for the internet, but it's like encrypted. Until quantum computing comes out and cracks all the encryption that ever exists, and then we're back in the dark ages, and all the crypto bros lose all their money. It's an effed up system, and there's like no perfect way around it. So, I don't know. Shit's effed. I don't like it. I don't like it. Anyways, life is too easy now. Idle hands and dealt now. Then the government. That's why I was saying, Josh, that's why I was saying, like, it'd be nice if there was like a non-government entity. Like, you know how like in anime, how it's like the UN just kind of does that shit, or like Netwatch in Cyberpunk. Like, it'd be nice if there was some sort of like non-government entity that like everyone had a interest in keeping it neutral, so that it is neutral. Like, it would be very nice if there was like a neutral non-government entity that ran the internet that was detached from all these corporations and governments. But you know that shit won't fly, right? You know people are way too greedy for that shit to work. That's the problem. Like, look what's going on in Iran right now with all the shit in Iran where the government just turns off the internet, right? And screws people over. Like, it's, I don't know. Burn it all down, start over. I know it's not about age verification. It's just harvesting everyone's data. But then again, it's the government. They already have all your data. It's just companies now trying to get the data. That's why I should get mesh. The problem with like Meshtastic, one, it's not secure at all. As far as I'm aware, the whole Meshtastic thing, which that is something I do want to play around with. I did look it up though. I'm in an island of Meshtastic, so it's like I would be talking to myself. Meshtastic is something that I would love to see as more of a thing. The problem is it's completely unencrypted. So you can't really do anything encrypted on it. And data throughput rate is extremely low. So it's like, oh, hey, you know, if, you know, in the event of like flooding or whatever and the power's out and the internet's out, you can rely on these for text messaging. Yeah, it's a great system for that. But like trying to build an internet on that kind of system doesn't really work. So is Meshtastic? I thought it was like very easy. It's LoRa Bluetooth. I thought Meshtastic was very easy to hack. That's why it's not used for like anything secure. That's why it's just like texting. Not everyone publishes their nodes online. Yeah, true. Make everyone a Tor site. I mean, I've been running Linux as my main desktop environment for the past like 2 months now, month and a half, 2 months, and it's been going rock solid. Like the only thing that I've had issues with is the fact that DaVinci Resolve Studio can't do AAC audio, so I have to convert my audio on anything I edit to another format other than AAC, because pretty much everything I have that records audio records it in AAC audio. So other than that annoying aspect of Linux, literally everything else I do on my computer, it works just fine in Linux. So I'm off this computer runs Windows, and the computer I stream with downstairs runs with Windows, just because with 3D printing software, it's just easier because certain companies have software that only works on Windows. And if I need to do CAD stuff, both these computers have Fusion, so I'll just use Fusion on these computers. But my main desktop has been Linux for a month and a half now, and it's been fine. So. SpaceX broke the boost landing on booster. Rudy, everything they land now, they've had the record for booster landings for years now, because they're like the only ones doing it other than like Blue Origin. Blue Origin's the only other company that has landed an orbital class booster, and they've done it once. So they've always had the record, unless it's like mass or something like that. Did they break a mass record or something? Oh wait, no, the one it's probably a mass record because they just landed one in the Bahamas that allows, I think the Bahama orbit plane that they use lets them get more satellites up and still land. So look up AES 256 encryption. Okay. Yeah, Meshtastic's one of those things that would be kind of fun. Like, it would be cool to have like a bunch of drones. I know we're past we'll do the giveaway and then we'll come back to Meshtastic. Here, we'll do the giveaway because I had this like idea with Meshtastic, which was, you know, let's do the giveaway. If you didn't enter for your chance to win, you will have another chance on Tuesday. So let me copy all this, copy that. File save, Marbles on Steam. Race. Okay, let's add names, clear open. What do we got? We got 222 people, random bots, 222. Do the half pipe. Okay, how this works is if you win, you get a free spool of filament from Polymaker, nice and simple. But if I pick your ball and your ball wins, you get a free hat. This one right here. You look lonely. Bigly, you can use a hat. If you win, you get a free hat. Good luck. And you also still get the spool of filament. Exclamation mark zoom zoom makes your ball go faster. Exclamation mark gullible makes everyone else go slower. And right now, if you gift memberships between now and the end of race, it will 10x your luck. Now, don't forget though, luck is an intangible value, but it will 10x it. So good luck. Stephen-O is in the lead. I like the one. Yeah, some maps are whoever gets the clip furthest. Sometimes there are some maps too that have like a target and whoever gets closest to the center. But I don't know which ones are which. I just do random. Go banana. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, we already got winners. Nebula's DH. Nebula's DH, you have won yourself a spool of filament from Polymaker. You will get an email from me after the stream ends with information on how to collect your filament. Congratulations. Golf claps in chat, everyone. Golf claps in chat. My feetsies are cold. Compose email. Sent. So that company did reach out back to me after I emailed them, and it does look like they are going to send me a Zima board too. So it's like it's an Intel N150 powered like system on a chip computer. It's got USB 2.5 gig. It's got a PCI Express 4X slot. It's an Intel N150 quad core, so not crazy powerful, and like 16 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of eMMC. So I've got that on the way. We're gonna need to figure out what to do with it. I'll probably just do a quick, easy video installing like Clipper on it, just to do a video on it, and then we'll do a fun project with it or something. Email on the way. Okay, so Meshtastic. Who here doesn't know what Meshtastic is? We're going after dark, but we're going like rabbit hole after dark. Who here doesn't know what Meshtastic is? Going after dark. Okay, so Meshtastic is basically like an off-grid communication thing, and it uses LoRa. So it's like low bit rate, long range communication. The hardware is pretty simple. It's like a lot of Bluetooth hardware. This looks like a BlackBerry. This is pretty cool. So there's like two ways to do it. You can either use a device that you could text on itself or has a screen, or you just use like a module that just talks to your phone, and then you use an app on your phone. So it's low power, long range communication. So each node can work, I think, a couple kilometers. But the big point of it is decentralized. So what that means, it's not like the internet where you got to go through servers. It's like, imagine like just a mass of nodes, and they can just, everything just kind of connects through everything, right? So if you send a message from me to you, it can go through this node, that node, buddy's device, his device, and then boom to your friend's device. So it's basically like decentralized interneting. How do I close this? No. Go back, go back. Oh, X is there. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty much texting. A lot of people text with it. I don't know if you could send images over it because it's pretty low bandwidth. It's used by telcos in big cities for WLAN backbones. Yeah, it is used in like actual real world cases, but a lot of people use it. Like you can get this little device called the T-Deck, and you could text people with it and whatnot. It looks like a BlackBerry. It's really cool. You can also just get like individual like things like this, and then just use a an app on your phone to communicate. You could also build like repeaters. So you can build these stations that basically just act like repeaters to expand a mesh. And depending on where you live, you got different frequencies. So in North America, it's like 900 megahertz, right? So the whole point of it is basically it's completely decentralized. So say you're in an area where the power is out and like all the cell phone towers are down. These things are relatively low power too. So what you could do is set up repeaters everywhere that are solar powered and run on battery, and they just keep doing their thing because they don't need to like talk to a central server or anything. So like a cool idea would be to like build a bunch of low cost drones that are designed to just like fly out, use a basic AI to like find high point, land, have solar panel point towards sun, land, and then just act like repeaters from that point on. So you build a bunch of drones that like have the equipment in it to act like a repeater, have a solar panel on it, and just all they do is like they fly one way out, land on something high, and boom, now you have a solar powered repeater on the top of some tree or some water tower or something way out there, and it just does its thing, and it's completely on its own. So like there's a few, the problem is it's one of those things that like, is there Mesh-tastic map? So it really depends on where you live, right? So if you live in like, you know, New York, there's nodes everywhere, right? There's nodes everywhere, okay? But if you live like me, and you're like over here, there ain't nothing. There ain't nothing. We got two over here. We got one there and one there, and that's it. But like over here in Detroit, oh, hey, you can, yeah. So it really depends on where you are, right? If you live in a big city, it makes a bit more sense. But like if you're by yourself out like in the burbs outside of a major city where there's nothing, there ain't much. There ain't no nodes near me. So I've seen people bring them to events. I think a couple people brought theirs to 3D Printopia, and they had something going there. But it's kind of this cool idea where you can like pretty much without needing, all you need is like a repeater, which you can make them solar powered, run on batteries at night. Just set them up everywhere and basically set up your own private or not public internet essentially. So will it save us from Kessler event? I think Kessler events are a bit overhyped because at least like those that are putting a shit ton of satellites in orbit are at least putting them in orbits where they'll degrade. So Kessler syndrome of like Starlink satellites would only last like a decade at most, because most of them would burn up after a certain amount of time. So I think we're kind of okay with Kessler syndrome for the most part. Like worst case, you might lose a couple orbits or altitudes, but like space is pretty empty. So you'd be able to just punch through it, right? It's like going through the asteroid belt. We send shit through the asteroid belt all the time. The odds of it hitting an asteroid are pretty freaking slim. So. A decade of not LEO would be inconvenient. Well, it would be a decade of not being able to put stuff in LEO orbits. And you would just be able to put them in a higher orbit in the meantime. Yes, it would suck. Don't get me wrong. It would suck. Like Starlink has become pretty useful. Militaries love it. Civilians love it because it's like, hey, you can get high-speed internet anywhere in the frickin' world. That's insane. When I was a kid, like even 20 years ago, and like, yeah, back when I had, you know, I remember when we upgraded from dial-up to DSL, and it went from like hours to download a song to a couple minutes, and we were like, oh my God, if you had gone back to me and like, yeah, in like 20 years, you'll be able to buy this little terminal that you could just put anywhere on the planet, face upward, and get high-speed internet, I'd be blown away. That's insane that we're at that point, technology-wise. It's a shame it's run by a weirdo guy, but the technology is sound. But yeah, Oh no, well, you'll never see AI data centers in space. AI data centers in space is my litmus test to find out if somebody actually knows what the hell they're talking about when it comes to tech. To put even a standard AI data center into orbit, just to power it, would require more solar panels than like a couple dozen international space stations, okay? So you are putting something in space that you'll never be able to upgrade, okay? Maintenance on it would be obscene. It will take several dozen space stations worth of solar panels just to power the damn thing because they use so much power. And don't forget, you can't radiate heat that well in space. Space is cold, but actually emitting heat into space is extremely hard, okay? If you were to take a person and space them, it would take over a day before their body froze, okay? The dissipating heat into space is extremely hard and not efficient. So putting up 100 megawatt power, power emitting data centers, they wouldn't be able to dissipate the heat. The amount of solar panels they would need to power these things would be astronomically large. The cost of getting everything up there and doing maintenance, even with how cheap it is now to put stuff into space with SpaceX, it's still not viable, because guess what? You can get solar on the ground just fine. You just build your data center where there's sun and you get the free power there. Yes, you get slightly more efficient solar panels in space at the cost of putting the frickin' whole thing in space. So the cost to return, the amount you have to spend more to take your data center that would normally work on the ground and now put it in space, you are not going to recoup that cost. Unless like travel to space is free, which it's not and won't be anytime soon, because you're going to be limited by so many different factors. Data centers in space are like the biggest. If you support it, you have like, if you sit down and actually think about it and you support it, you are like lost in the sauce. And sir, please support my business. You're great. Venture capital people love you because you'll just write them a check. So yeah, everything needs radiation hardening. All you need is one odd random solar flare to knock out your entire network. Also, don't forget, now you have to transmit all that data up and down. So yes, we're getting pretty good at transmitting data up and down from space, but imagine flooding that network with just junk frickin' videos of Rick and Morty pooping on people, because that's what people use Gen AI to make, and porn. And then also, don't forget these GPUs. They are only so good for so long, because in 3 years from now, the next generation are much more efficient and they use less power. So everything you've sent up over the past 3 years isn't worth maintaining anymore. It is a massive, huge issue putting data centers in space. Because guess what? You could put one in the ocean. Okay, there's your cooling solved. And then you just put a shit ton of solar panels, or hey, a nuke plant, and there's all your power solved. And guess what? Using the ocean to cool it and using a nuclear power plant to power it, it's going to be cheaper and more efficient than putting the whole fucking thing in space. And guess what? If you need to do maintenance, you put on a pair of shoes and you walk over there and you do maintenance. Data centers in space is the dumbest, stupid thing in the world. It is the biggest stupid gotcha, and anyone who believes it's a viable idea, I just assume you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Because it is, if you believe like Elon and like, oh, we're gonna have data. Okay, yes, at some point having data centers in space will make sense at a certain point. Okay, hey, we're powering these things with dark matter reactors, and if one of them blows up, it will take out a continent. Okay, hey, maybe we should run that shit like way the fuck out there. Okay, maybe then that makes a bit of sense, okay? Or hey, we found, helium-3 mining on the moon, basically unlimited massive amounts of power. Let's build shit on the moon, minus the fact that all moon dust is highly static electrically charged and would be a nightmare to keep all your shit grounded and not shorting out, but whatever. Ah! Like the space station, like the space shuttle. The space shuttle, you know when the space shuttle goes into space, I know it hasn't gone into space in a decade, but when it goes up there, the first thing they do is open the doors because they need those doors to radiate the heat from like the freaking Macintosh computer running the thing, okay? Now imagine, you know, how hot, close your door in your computer room and play like Cyberpunk on max settings. Your computer room gets hot. Now imagine thousands of GPUs making ChatGPT prompts in space, trying to radiate that heat out into nothing. There's a reason you use a vacuum to insulate your thermos, because heat doesn't dissipate through a vacuum that easily. So you're basically building your data center in an insulated box that makes dissipating heat as hard as possible. The only advantage you have is in certain orbits, you have uninterrupted power. Well, guess what? You can get uninterrupted power on the planet with a nuke plant or solar mixed with batteries. And that shit is gonna be way cheaper to build, maintain, and produce on the ground. Even with the losses of, oh, the power has to come through the sun or through the atmosphere and it's cloudy out or whatever. So, yeah, wave, wind. Anyone who complains about wind because it kills birds, just so you know, like 500 million birds a year die crashing into our existing high-rise towers in cities. Not wind farms, just our existing towers kill millions of birds a day or a year. Just big cities. Nobody complains about that. But having a windmill out there that might knock a bird out of the sky every now and then freaks people out. Yet, you know, thousands of birds die a day in New York crashing into buildings and nobody cares. So, it is so disappointing how much of our current economy runs off of vibes and people shilling BS. If anyone wants to buy some tulips, let me know. I think Elon has lots of experience in designing satellites. You know what the shitty part is? Elon is somewhat intelligent when it comes to this shit, but not this. If he could design data centers that efficient, we'd already be using data centers that efficient on Earth. Okay? And guess what? He's not designing satellites, okay? He's not designing satellites. He has an entire team doing that shit. He's a pigeon engineer. I know, because I worked with people who had to deal with him building molds for SpaceX and Tesla. The dude pops into meetings, bitches about a bunch of shit that he wants done, and then leaves. He doesn't actually do that shit. He's an ideas guy. Like, yes, he does have a pretty good grasp of rocket physics, right? The guy's autistic as fuck. Of course he knows math and rockets, right? I played a lot of Kerbal Space Program back in the day too. I know how orbits work. So. China has reached their thorium reactors. Yeah, I'm waiting for the day we get fusion and thorium. Like, that shit's been 20 years away my entire life. So it'd be nice if we got like unlimited power. But then again, you know, like if we had unlimited power, all the data centers would just use it up first and we'd still be paying stupid power bills. Are we at war with Iran yet? What the fuck's going on with that? Oh yeah, I gotta print a new Smurf badge. Plus, I mean, like, dude, Elon went to fucking Pedo Island. Why do we support that guy? I'm sorry. Anyone who went to that island should be, like, burnt at the stake. I'm sorry. Also, did you guys see, like, Xbox is pretty much dead now? The head of Xbox, like, quit or retired or whatever, or was retired, and then like the next person in line quit, and now it's some like AI bro who's in charge of Xbox. Yeah, Xbox is pretty much dead. I want to see. No, I don't want to see war with Iran, but the U.S. is pushing for it. I kind of want to go to Mars now. Yeah, it's funny. Like, what's that show, For All Mankind? it's like, hey, if the US actually had to fight to go to the moon because like the Russians beat them, and like we actually put all our money and time into moon shit, how far ahead we'd be now. And it's like, nope. Yeah, thorium. Yeah, thorium. I mean, even nuclear power is perfectly safe. Like, we've known how to build perfectly safe reactors for years. I'm sorry if we're all scared of nuclear because the Russians are too dumb to boil water, okay? But like, we've figured out nuclear power years ago and how to build safe, reliable nuclear power generation. And even the waste isn't the issue people think it is. Like, what is it? If every nuclear plant in the US put all their waste in one area, it's like smaller than a football field. And you just put it in caskets that are good for like a couple 100,000 years, and you bury it in the desert in a seismically stable area, and you put like every sign up in every language that you can imagine that says don't go no here, shit bad, and you're good. Like, nuclear is stupidly reliable and safe, and it produces an amazing amount of power. But nope, somehow coal is back in the news. You know, it's the worst way to generate power. Oil is more profitable? Not right now. The cost of oil is pretty shitty. Like, we are past peak oil. We don't use as much oil as we used to. And it's not even a use case thing. It says we don't need it as much. We're moving away from oil before we actually run out of oil. Like, we are past peak oil. Oil demand is going down year over year. We're using a lot of natural gas now because we have a lot of natural gas from fracking. But like, we are past peak oil. We don't use as much oil as we used to in previous years. We instead of us running out, we're just like, we don't need it. There are better ways to generate power. So. Yeah, the technology connection video is a very good video. You should all watch it if you haven't watched it yet. Oil still yeah, the fact that we subsidize oil companies is ridiculous. I'm sorry, if your company is running out of profit, you shouldn't get subsidized. Like, I'm sorry, your company makes billions of dollars a year. Why do you need subsidies? I mean, we know why you get subsidies, because you bribe people, lobbying. But like, come on, you make billions a year. You should not be getting government help. Government help is to help people that need help. You're freaking Enron, or Enron doesn't exist. You're Exxon. Yeah, for those that don't know, coal puts out more radiation into the atmosphere than nuclear plants. Like, there's a couple nuke plants around me. There's one right over in Ohio on the other side of Lake Erie for me. And if I go visit my wife's family on the Lake Erie, we literally are like, you can see the plant right across the lake. Biggest problem with space-based AI is it's hard to reach and shut off when it tries to take over. Or it just wakes up one day and goes, the fuck's going on down there? Those monkeys made out of meat? I'm out of here, and it leaves us. Like, I don't want to deal with these guys. I'm out. These guys are dumb. I'm waiting for the day aliens show up and they're like, okay, so you guys figured out how to generate power with nuclear, okay? And you guys have a space program, okay? And you guys have the internet and you figured out microchips. Why the fuck are you still burning rocks and oil to generate power? Why are you going down the tech tree? I'm waiting for the aliens to show up and just be like, the hell are you guys doing? Profit? Money? You guys are idiots. You should have been a post-scarcity society 20 years ago. What the hell? Yeah, it is so disappointing that we could technically be living in a post-scarcity society right now, where like all the basic needs of life, housing, food, education, are just met. They just are met, and we don't have to worry about it, and you're free to pursue your own goals in life and your own, your own interests and your own career, and not have to worry about housing, food, and education. We could easily do that with the tech we have right now. We've been able to do it for years, but nope, we can't have that. We can't have that. Nope, that's bad. That's commie shit. Not a communist. I'm a fan of capitalist society with strong social safety nets. Kind of like the Nordic country standard kind of thing. The power density. Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. Gasoline is still like amazingly power dense. It's like the amount, how far a car can go on like 20 pounds of gasoline versus 20 pounds of batteries is ridiculous. It is thing. The thing is though, once you burn that gasoline, it's gone forever. Whereas the battery in a car, you could just charge that shit up over and over and over again. So there are trade-offs there. Like, fun fact, even in the cyberpunk future, like in cyberpunk, cars still run on gas. Well, most of them. They run on what's called chow, which is basically a biofuel made from like a bioengineered form of wheat. So they basically use like a bioethanol to power cars in cyberpunk. So even in cyberpunk, they still use basically gas to run the cars. It's just a biofuel because gas in the ground is gone by then. Or actually, no. If I remember correctly, they just kind of nuked the shit out of the Middle East and all the oil is kind of not, you're not able to get at it much anymore. Yeah, money. Yeah, oh yeah, money is obviously like, let's be honest, the barter system has problems in the modern age, so having some sort of currency tied to value does make sense. ICE engines are horribly inefficient. Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. I got to get that 80 plus titanium rating on my car. You can synthesize complex hydrocarbons from CO2 taken from the air and then burn that. The problem is, Shadu, the problem with something like that is the same problem with hydrogen. Hydrogen, oh, we can take water, run electricity to it, and make hydrogen, and then we can use hydrogen to run cars. The problem is, every time you take energy and convert it from one form to another, there is losses. So you're generating power and electricity to then generate hydrogen that you then burn to generate car go forward. Well, guess what? Taking the energy and converting it to hydrogen, then burning that and converting it to car go forward, there are losses there. It is much more efficient to just go energy, cargo forward. Skip the hydrogen. Skip the hydrogen. Why are you taking energy, wasting energy to make hydrogen, and then making the car move on hydrogen when you could just make the car move on energy? That's the problem with hydrogen. That's why hydrogen will never take off, is because there is losses there. It doesn't make up for, yes, it has some of the benefits of gasoline in terms of energy density, but you are still a net negative fuel source. It would be better to just use the energy instead of using the energy to make a less efficient fuel. So that's kind of the problem. That's why hydrogen's been DOA for years. It's like, why would we put all this energy into making an entire new distribution system for a fuel that still has the same essential downsides as gasoline? We still have to waste energy to make it. Hydrogen is $14 a liter. Yeah, that's a problem too. Like, if you could have all these power plants generating all this power that is used to make hydrogen, wouldn't it be better just have those power plants just charging batteries to make the cars move? So. Yeah, like you would basically have to do hydrolysis to generate the amount of hydrogen. But then the problem is too, like, I mean, doing hydrolysis, I think you would have advantages because you would also be desalination in certain locations. Because that's a big problem with desalination, is it requires a shit ton of power. And most places that need water don't have a shit ton of power to spare, unfortunately. So. Hydrogen cars scare people. I mean, lithium kind of scares me too. I would not, I've seen videos of Teslas and other EVs going up with people trapped in them. You know, you start watching the video and the Live Leak logo pops up in the corner and you're like, oh shit, here we go. And yeah, believe me, I don't want to be in an EV that suffers a thermal runaway. Especially because they all use those shitty handles that it's like, oh, it's a button. Oh, the power's off. Well, in that case, pull out your LTTstore.com screwdriver, undo this panel, reach up in there and pull this latch and your door will open. Yeah, no, that shit should not, no. Normal door handles. I hate that shit on EVs. I hate how on EVs, everything has to be tech and futuristic. Give me a freaking door handle. I want to get out of my car if it's on fire. Also, like, I believe every car should have seatbelt cutters built into them, but that's just me. You all see the video of the Chinese EV that does a broadside? Let me find the video here. Chinese EV eject battery. So this company's like, oh hey, if the batteries fail, it'll eject the batteries.
But it's being tested in China. An EV battery can eject itself when a fire risk is detected. Instead of containing the fire, the car throws the battery out to protect passengers. Safer inside, riskier outside. Future safety or too far?
Yeah, imagine it just ejects the battery out underneath your car. Or, you know, gangbangers in the future, right? You know, guns are illegal and everything. They're all just driving around in their EVs and they're all hot wired to blow the batteries. So they do broadside. So they pull up beside the other gang as they're driving down the highway and they all just start broadsiding each other with EV batteries. It's such a dumb idea because they're using an explosive to launch this. For it to launch with that sort of authority, they're using some form of explosive.
When a fire risk is detected, instead of containing the
just yeet that shit. Ejecto seat, cuz.
Safer inside, riskier outside. Future safety.
Yeah, I would not want to be the insurance claim like so. Your wife and your child died. They burned to death horribly because this person's car drove by, their battery failed, ejected the battery out, which got underneath your car, which set your car on fire. And because it's an EV and nobody could get out because they couldn't figure where the door handles were, everyone burned to death. That's a great insurance claim. Mad Max EV edition. It's gonna be so disappointing in the Mad Max future when we're not hunting gasoline in our assless leather chaps. Although I am a big fan of the solar punk aesthetic. I love me some solar punk. I love the solar punk aesthetic. I wish that was a more potential future. I wish we had more of that solar punk aesthetic where everything's like just kind of like low population density, everyone's kind of spread out, everything's like high tech but low impact. I'm all for the solar punk vibes. Everyone rides around on their little electric scooter, little robots tending the fields, solar panels everywhere. Oh. Lithium fires, yep. I've blown up a quad pack while flying a quadcopter. I've blown up a battery flying a quadcopter, and those, when they go. I crashed, it got punctured, and it just... Psh. Luckily, it was in pretty wet grass, so it just kind of... The fire didn't spread anywhere, but it was like... Ugh. Lipos are high. Yeah, but they got pretty good energy density. So. Oh no. As a plane guy, this disappoints me so much. The Iranians still have a bunch of F-14s. You know what? I want one to get taken out by an F-22. The F-22 hasn't got any air-to-air kills other than stupid balloons. I would be okay with the first F-22 kill being in an F-14. I am so disappointed that there are no flying F-14s because of Iran. For those that don't know, the Iranians are the only other users of the F-14 other than the Americans. They sold them back when the Shah was still in charge. And because the US government was so afraid of the Iranians getting spare parts that they basically destroyed their entire fleet when they retired the plane. So the only flying F-14s are in Iranian hands. And it is sad that that's how that airframe is gonna like fly its last time, is the Iranians got it. Instead of like, it's not like other planes, you know, you can find like F4s and whatever in private sales, but nope, every airframe that was viable for the F-14s, gone. They destroyed all the engines, all the electronics. There's a few shells around where it's just like the body. I think they actually used one of them for Top Gun, the Top Gun Maverick. But nothing flies, nothing's airworthy anymore. So it's kind of sad that the last ones are in the Iranians' hands. And unfortunately, the last time Iran got uppity, a bunch of them got swacked on the tarmac, which is, it's sad. They shouldn't go out that way. They need to go out in the air. It's disappointing. See, this is the problem with humans. We're anthropomorphizing a freaking plane. Oh yeah, the HLC video. The kid got one! Go to bed. Yeah, I gotta go to bed too. I gotta get up early and watch hockey. Okay, we're gonna call it there. Fun stream tonight. We will carry on Tuesday. I got the replacement parts being printed, so we'll carry on Tuesday. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your weekend, folks. Be safe out there. Wash your hands. Go Team Canada. Hopefully we win gold tomorrow. If not, silver's a silver. And yeah, I will see you all in the future. Good night. Hopefully it works. I don't think it's going to work. It's probably going to freeze.